Hello, and welcome back to On the Daily. In this episode, I'm talking about sales and I mean, why I think some people aren't good at it and what you can do about it. So, if you are currently running a digital business and you do a lot of online marketing in your business, then this episode's going to be for you. So, listen in. Before we jump into this episode, I just have to remind you that my business accelerator, Scale to Six, is still enrolling. And we started a couple weeks ago, but you can still join us. And inside, it's really kind of the fast track to that six-figure mark in your business. And what I like about this container is, of course, you're going to get strategy and you're going to get all the things that, you know, that are important on a foundational level to build, maintain, and then scale a six-figure business. And you also have the power of a really awesome community. One of I think my biggest flexes in business is that inside of my containers, most of my clients become friends with each other and each other's clients as well. And I know that that's kind of taboo in the coaching space. I think a lot of coaches sometimes feel a little weird about their clients hiring each other in their containers, but I actually think it's one of the most powerful things about the spaces that I hold and host and run. And so, I think if you're building and scaling a six-figure business, it can get so lonely, and that is something that I really cannot relate to. And I feel that that's the same for my clients inside of the containers. So, you're getting all of the really great community. You're getting so much support, not just from me, but from other people who have done or are doing what you're doing. You're getting the energetic support using human design and astrology. And that includes launch strategy and branding and you name it, it's there. But then you're also getting the strategic support. So quite literally, how to improve your messaging. Quite literally, I go in and I review your copy and I review your offer suite and make notes and help you optimize your business so that you can scale to six figures, maintain that, and then scale beyond that as well. So if you are currently building six-figure business, this container is for you, and you can click the link in our show notes to learn more about that. Or you can come to my Instagram, Danielle_ on the daily, and you can DM me the word scale, and I'll send you information. Sales is so scary for so many people, and I also think that a lot of people think that sales is just done by posting an Instagram story. And as much as I wish that that was true, it is not. And if I could have built a seven-figure business just posting on social media, trust me, I would have. But unfortunately, that is not how it works. And if you do want to build a big business, you have to actually master the art of sales, right? It's mastery. It's not just dabbling. And one thing that I wish more people understood is that sales is something that you have to commit to all the way. It's something that you really have to commit to master. And it isn't easy. It is complicated. It does shift. The way that people were buying in 2020 is very different than the way people are buying now. In 2020, people were buying by you would show up online and you would say, here, I have this thing. And people would be like, well, I'm at home and I'm not going anywhere. So I'm bored and might as well. Some people were on state support for their business. So they were actually, if they were still working, but they were getting supplemental income for COVID relief, there were people that actually had a lot of money at first and there was money to spend. And so sales, especially in the online space, was very easy in 2019, 2020, even 2021. But people have shifted the way that they buy, because I think what happened is people got online burnout and fatigue, and they ended up not really wanting to spend as much time online. So we, as an industry of anyone who's in the digital marketing space, the online coaching space, the network marketing space, affiliate marketing, anyone who's selling online. I mean, this could be even just you have an in-person business, but you also do a lot of your sales on the internet. The buying pattern has changed. And that means that we have to change and we have to evolve. And so one of the things that I know for sure has never failed me, and no matter how much the buying patterns of clients changes, the way that I show up and how I focus my energy in sales has not changed and will not change. And that is because of human design. And I have a masterclass on this called Sales Using Human Design. And if you haven't gotten your hands on it, I highly suggest you do, because it's literally $23 and it will change your life. I mean, some of the testimonials I've gotten from people who have taken this masterclass, I mean, people have had $10,000 days using this masterclass. So it really is powerful, but that's beside the point. What I want to talk about is why thinking of sales through the lens of your human design will never fail you. And that we first then have to talk about human design in general for a little bit. So human design, I talk about it all the time. If you don't know what it is, go look it up. It's amazing. But everyone has defined and undefined centers in their human design chart. Obviously, if you are a reflector in human design, all of your centers are undefined. And so yours is, the way you sell is going to be a little bit different. But honestly, sales gets to be easier for reflectors in a lot of ways, because you really do get to do things in a different way than most people, which is always great. But that being said, everyone has defined and undefined centers, and the definition in your chart. So any center that you have that's defined or colored in on your human design chart, that's a place where there's a lot of natural power. Sure, there can be like a lot of fixed energy there, a lot of rigidity there as well, and that comes with its own shadows. But generally speaking, anything that's defined is a place of natural power for you. And so when it comes to sales and it comes to marketing, that is a really great place to look for the easiest way that you can market and sell whatever it is that you're selling, whether that be a digital product, a service, an actual a physical product, whatever it is. It's a really good place to look. So why does this work? Why is it a good place to look? If you go on the internet right now, like if I opened up my social media, if I opened up my Instagram, if I opened up my TikTok, whatever, the first thing I would see would probably be someone trying to sell me something. And so there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot, well, it would either be someone trying to sell me something, or it would be like a dog video. That's what usually happens when I open up my social media, but it's noisy in the online space. And there are people who literally, they are sales coaches. And so they will market how to sell, and they will teach how to sell using a specific formula or using a signature proven method. And I'm not saying that their signature proven method doesn't work for them, and probably some of their clients as well. But the problem that I see is that they market it to everybody as something that will work for everyone. And unfortunately, that's just not the way it is. Because if let's say someone on the internet is really successful in selling using like a lot of logic and like, here's what you're going to get, and like really laying out the facts and like very cerebral type of sales. I actually have taken a few courses from people like this. There's a course that I bought from Maria Wendt on like passive income and ads. And she sells very cerebrally. So she sells very much like, here's what you're going to get. Here's why you need it. Here's why it makes sense. Buy it or don't buy it. And that works. And I am really attracted to that because I don't know her human design, but I would guarantee that she probably has some definition in her head or her ajna in her human design chart. But this works for her because it's very naturally powerful. Now, I don't have a defined head and I don't have a defined ajna in human design. So if I were to go and I were to sell all of my offers with that same type of logical thinking, oh, this makes sense because of this, and this is why you love it. Like, it wouldn't land the same way. And it's not to say that I don't put like what you're going to get. It's not to say that I don't put the deliverables or the actual transformations of testimonials. It's not that I don't give those things on the sales page. It's that I don't lead with those things. And I think a lot of people lead with those things. And if you don't have definition, you're going to find yourself copying people on the internet or emulating the way that they sell on the internet, hoping that it's going to work for you. And then it's never going to feel good. And that is why, like, the number one thing, no matter how much an industry changes, no matter how much buying patterns change, right? You have to be able to tap into yourself. Like, I will always lead with my sacral center when I sell because I am a sacral generator. So my excitement, my like joy, the way that I feel about what I sell will always be the best way for me to sell. Now, I may have to switch strategical things, and I may have to, put more emphasis on, different funnels or different types of automations or things as the buying pattern changes. But what stays consistent is where I find power in marketing, where I find power in sales. And this is something that I wish more people would just tap into their human design for. And how do you do that? Well, you buy the masterclass that I made all about how to sell using your human design for $23. The link is in the show notes, by the way. We put it there for you. Or you can DM me on Instagram, the word sales, and we'll send you the link. But, I think what happens, I see this pattern a lot where people will, they'll really start taking their content seriously. They'll really start taking sales on the internet seriously. And they will go online and talk about it a few times and it doesn't hit, or, nobody buys, or a few people buy, but they don't feel like it's enough. And then they go, well, I'm just going to run ads. That's what I'll do. I'll just go run ads. But I can promise you, if you're not going to sell, if you can't sell to a warm market, you're never going to sell to a cold market using ads. It's just not going to happen. And so you really have to know that what you have to sell, whether that be a digital product, a digital asset, coaching services, a physical product, whatever it is, you have to know that that's going to sell to the warm market you have, to the people who see your content all the time, to the people who watch your stories, to the people who read your emails. If it's not selling to them, it's not going to sell to a cold market. And if it's not selling to your hot market, there's a messaging issue. And that messaging issue can usually be boiled down to, well, how are we trying to sell? Are we trying to sell based on what's working for other people? Or are we really tapping into ourselves and where our natural power lies based on our human design chart? And it really does make a difference. And when I started to really tap into this and I stopped being affected by the noise, and I would tune out, anyone that was selling in a way that, like, sure, it worked for them and it was really cool, but like, I know that that's not going to work for me because I don't have a defined emotional center. So like that way of like emotional sales is not going to work for me the same way that it would work for them. But I can tap into who I am, and I can tap into where my natural power lies, and I can always lead with that when I'm selling. Then it's like you kind of become change proof. Like, yes, you're going to have to upgrade the way that you sell in like a strategic perspective. You're going to have to upgrade maybe your funnels. You're going to have to really learn automation. You're going to have to incorporate ChatGPT, all the things, the AI functionality that people are incorporating into their business. Yeah, you're going to have to implement those things. But the style in which you sell your product or services it remains unchanged and it remains constant. And honestly, that consistency is why people will continue to buy from you on the back end. It's why you can have, scalable offers that people can move from one to the next, which is what we're going to talk about in the next episode next week. We're going to talk about scalability in a business. But in order to be able to scale a business, you have to be tapped into yourself, and you have to really, really trust yourself. And trusting yourself is also relative based on which version of yourself that you're actually trusting. And if we're not trusting the natural power the naturally powerful version of ourselves, if we're not trusting that version of ourselves because we're still operating from a place of scarcity and lack and looking outside of ourselves for the answers, well, then trusting yourself's not going to work either. So I highly recommend that you get your hands on selling using human design, because right now it's only $23. And I swear that masterclass is going to change your life. It's the freaking best. I know it because I made it, but it's also something that I've implemented into my own business and I've seen it work every single time. So learn how to sell, learn how to market using your natural power through the lens of your human design. And I promise you, your business will change. And obviously, I can't guarantee how it will change, but I know your business will change because I've seen it happen to hundreds of clients inside of my world. So I hope that helps. Click the link in the show notes to learn more. And as always, I really, we're coming up on 4 years of this podcast, and we've done, I don't even know how many people have listened to it, but we've been listened to it almost every continent in so many countries. And, it's always really awesome to see new people come and hear the show for the first time. So if you do love what you hear, I would so appreciate it if you could go to Apple Podcasts and on my show, scroll down to the bottom and leave me a 5-star review or a 4, whatever you think, or write me a review. That is always so helpful and so appreciated. And honestly, for podcasters, a lot of people don't realize that's actually how the podcast gets pushed out to more people. It's very similar to the algorithm on like Instagram. The more engagement you get, the more it will get pushed out. And so if you do love what you hear and you do listen to this show all the time, I would love for you to go leave a review and write me a little message. Just tell me that you're loving it. And yeah, so thanks. I'll see you next week. Bye.